What are mid-course evaluations? Mid-course evaluations are a strategy for instructors to get feedback about students' learning experiences while their course is underway. By the end of this video, you should be able to explain the benefits of mid-course evaluations, select a mid-course evaluation strategy that suits your context, and implement a strategy for addressing student feedback. So why do mid-course evaluations? Mid-course evaluations serve several purposes. They provide you with opportunities to gain practical and actionable insights about how students are faring in your course. They communicate to students that your course is designed with their learning in mind. They encourage students to reflect on what they feel supports their learning, and they demonstrate to students that you value their input. When should mid-course evaluations be carried out? Mid-course evaluations should happen after students have received some feedback from you on their learning, and early enough in the term for you to make use of their feedback. 4 to 7 weeks into the course would be a good time to implement mid-course evaluations. What should you include in your mid-course evaluations? When it comes to planning the evaluations, consider logistics and follow-up. How large is your class, and how much time do you have to interpret the responses? What will you do with the results? For mid-course evaluations to be effective, questions should focus on aspects of your teaching of the course where you're still able and willing to make changes at this point in the term. Questions can be closed or open-ended. Closed questions require less time for students to respond to, and the results take less time for you to summarize and interpret. However, they might leave you wondering why students responded the way they did. Here are some examples for closed questions. I can easily get in touch with my instructor. I am comfortable expressing my opinions in this course. I spend approximately this many hours per week in total on this course. Open-ended questions can provide more qualitative information and are a good choice if you don't want to limit students' responses. Here are some examples of open-ended questions. Which activities are helping you learn? What could you do to improve your own learning in this course? Where do you feel you need more guidance to support your learning? Mid-course evaluations should not be long and time-consuming for students to complete, and the results should not be time-consuming for you to summarize and interpret. We recommend 3 to 4 questions. How do you implement mid-course evaluations? There are multiple strategies to choose from. 2 commonly used strategies are polling and surveys. You can do an in-class poll with polling at McGill. This is a strategy that allows for instant sharing of the responses and works best with closed questions. Alternatively, you can do a short survey using MyCourses or Microsoft Forms. Students can fill in surveys during or outside class time. Providing time in class will likely increase the response rate, but it may not be feasible in every context. For both strategies, students' responses can be set to anonymous. Before you get started, it's important to manage expectations. Be transparent with students about your reasons for having them do mid-course evaluations and explain how you will use their responses. Clarify beforehand that there are things that you won't be able to change at this point in the course, such as the choice of textbook. How do you interpret the responses? Responses from closed questions can easily be summarized in a table or graph, particularly if you used polling at McGill or Microsoft Forms. Responses to open-ended questions can be very informative, but also potentially overwhelming. If you've received a lot of responses to open-ended questions, we recommend you use the TLS Comments Analysis Worksheet to help you interpret the feedback. This worksheet can help you separate positive from negative feedback and organize it by category, such as organization and structure. Seeing the feedback in this format provides perspective and can help you decide what kind of changes to your course could have the most impact on student learning. To derive the most benefit from mid-course evaluations, we encourage you to discuss the results with your unit head, a trusted colleague, or someone from Teaching and Learning Services. How will you address the responses with your students? You don't need to act on everything, but you should talk about the feedback with your students in a timely manner, ideally within a week following the evaluation. We recommend share a summary of the main points students raised. Seize the opportunity to highlight what students described as working well. Let students know what you will and will not change as a result of their feedback, and, where applicable, explain the reasons for keeping the status quo. Address opportunities for what both you and students can do to make the most of the learning opportunities remaining in the term. Responding to students' feedback in this way demonstrates that you value their input but still have pedagogical reasons for your decisions. Interested in learning more? Check out the links below the video for a copy of the comments analysis worksheet and more strategies and tools to plan and implement your mid-course evaluations. Would you like help planning and implementing mid-course evaluations? Contact TLS for an individual consultation.